Hey guys and girls, on Ask Japanese, it's Cathy Cat coming out from Tokyo to you. And this time we're gonna answer one of the questions we get the most from you guys. And that is how to get a living space in Japan. Maybe apartment or just for people who wanna come here and live here for a short time or a long time. And this is what we're gonna answer today.
いらっしゃいませ
There's a broad variety of living solutions available here in Japan, and depending what your priorities are and what your stage in life is, they will greatly vary. So let's find out the best living space for you. To be honest, this is also the reason why we haven't done a video about this, because it really cannot just be answered in one thing. Depending on what you want, what stage in your life you're in right now, you will be living somewhere completely else. So there are different types of living here in Japan. I'm going to go into them one by one and be honest with yourself. Think about what stage in life you are right now and pick the one that's probably best for you. There are at least 7 ways of living here in Japan. I'm going to go through them step by step. We're going to start at number 7, which is living with a host family. If you are a student, university student, or maybe part of a certain exchange program, you might get the chance to actually live with the host family, which is pretty amazing because you get Japanese culture in your daily life in the morning. You know, you'll get woken up, you go to school maybe with other Japanese students and you come home to the family dinner. It's amazing. It's a great way to experience Japanese culture. However, there's a lot of a set of rules because you have to really adapt to the Japanese culture. It's not going the other way around. They should not be adapting to your lifestyle. So you need to change, you need to adapt, and you need to live by the rules. And also, this is a big thing for many Japanese households because letting a stranger into their house is a very private and intimate thing. So not that many families actually allow homestay here in Japan. So that's also why the au pair, coming to live in Japan with the family and maybe help them with the household duties, that's generally really found here in Japan. So if you have the chance to go with the host family, it's truly unique. It brings you close to the culture, but there are plus and minus points. Plus, you get the unique experience of living with a Japanese family. In the morning, in the evening, all the time, you are surrounded by Japanese people, Japanese culture, and Japanese language. This generally helps you boost your Japanese language skills extremely because you will have to speak Japanese in order to communicate with them. So it's a great way of not just learning about the language, but also immersing yourself in the culture and having a unique experience and see what living in Japan is like. However, minus, you will totally have to adapt all the rules on good and on bad ways. So if you have to be home at 5, you'll have to be home at 5. You know how it is. Maybe you stayed at an aunt's or uncle's house before and you're like, wow, they're strict, or wow, they have very different rules. And it's the same thing. It is a different family and you have to live by different family rules and just do what they say. You just gotta rule with that. If you don't get along with them, you might have to let the school know or stuff like that. But generally try and open up your heart. Try to see what you can do to, live in harmony with them. And another thing that's unfortunately the downside is this is generally only available to certain students and some exchange programs, but it's actually kind of rare in Japan. And some programs offer it. It's kind of expensive. So not everyone gets the choice for this.
3210
Number 6, student accommodation. So if you go to a Japanese university, college, or a language school, you might get the option to go into one of their student accommodations. Those can be dormitories specifically for the students, or even full houses set aside for only their students who study at that school or college. Plus, these accommodations are generally close to your campus or in a convenient way on the way to your campus. You will also be living with fellow students, which means you can get to know maybe your classmates or your schoolmates on a more private basis. It's easier to then go make friends, and maybe they can even help you with your homework, or they're struggling with the same teachers. You can get a lot of support, and if you have any problems in the house, may it be gas, electricity, water, or similar things like that, you can contact maybe your university or the landlord in charge and you'll get help. And if you, for example, go to a language school, even if you don't speak Japanese, they can come and help you out. Minus, this is only available while you are a student there. So in case you decide to graduate from that college or language school, you'll have to move out straight away because other students want to move in. Also, there might be certain rules and curfews, meaning you might have to be back at a certain time, or you are not allowed to bring a person who's not from the school or university to your room. And there is sometimes also a rule about males and females mingling, so you might not be able to, for example, bring your boyfriend or girlfriend to your room either. So there's a little bit of the things you'll have to live with.
ちょっと待ってね。
From the school life to the university life or language school life up to the next step. The next step would be number 5, gaijin houses. Now, gaijin means foreigner, and translated, of course, it means foreigner houses, meaning those accommodations are specifically made for foreigners who come to Japan for maybe a shorter period of time, and they have different contracts that help make moving in and out a lot easier. So let's find out what the plus and minus of this is. Plus, flexibility is key. These houses are kept in mind with students or people working who might only be there for a short time, or maybe just working holiday travelers who want to spend some time in one location without going to different hotels. So gaijin houses moving in is usually kept easy, and you have lower fees than if you did rent an informal apartment. There's usually no things like a special extra key money and stuff like that. And moving out is fine too. Sometimes you can even specify, hey, I only want to live here for a month or 3 months, and then you can change to maybe even a gaijin house in a different location if you so wanted to. So flexibility is key. Some of the fees are then also kept lower because you're obviously sharing and you common space with other people. And since you are sharing your common space with other people, meaning you have chances to make friends with people from around the world. The most exciting people come together in those gaijin houses, and you can meet pretty much anyone there. Students, people working in Japan, and you might get some vital information on, for example, job offerings or cool places to go. You can get some real foreigner insider information living in a gaijin house. Minus, if you are a less social person and you don't really like to mingle with other people, it might not be your thing. Also, these ones tend to be quiet party towns, so you might not get as much sleep at night as you might to, and you might be tempted to use your native language, meaning you might be speaking in, if you're studying with Spanish people in Spanish or in English, and you might not use as much Japanese as you should maybe do, depending on what reasons you're there for in Japan. But you'll be surrounded by a lot of people, and you have a lot of chances to make friends.
準備はいいですか?
Number 4, share houses. Now, very similar to gaijin houses are share houses, but they're not exclusively only for foreigners, meaning Japanese people will be renting there too. And things like that have actually recently become popular in Japan. Before that, it wasn't really a thing. But with things like terrace house and stuff, pushing the idea of having people come and share one space together, this has become popular. Now, what's the good and bad about that? Plus, the share house shares some of the attributes that the gaijin houses do too, which is they're generally furnished, and you also have a common space that's usually kept clean, hopefully, and many things are included. For example, electricity, gas, internet. You don't have to worry about any of that. And as a plus, you'll be living with Japanese people, practicing your Japanese and learning about that. Minus, again, if you don't like sharing things, then that might not be for you. And also, if you're not a social person and don't really want to hang out with people, maybe not the bestest of ideas.
しばらくお待ちください.
Number 3, short-term rentals. Now, if you're here in Japan for only a specified amount of time, maybe on business or on working holiday visa or similar things like that, or maybe just traveling for a short time and you want a place to stay consistently, there's also the option of going for short-term rentals. Now, short-term rentals can be things like Airbnb, but they can also include some certain short-term rental companies, for example, those that go out to businessmen, that you can rent a really nice furnished apartment all by yourself for a certain amount of time. Plus, you can live there in a fully furnished apartment for a short period of time, and you can live there all by yourself. You don't have to share. Minus, no matter how nice that apartment is and how much you'd love to live there forever, you can only stay there for a short amount of time. Also, some necessary appliances like rice cookers and stuff might not be provided by the place. And also, they happen to be actually quite expensive and definitely more expensive than share houses or gaijin houses. Number 2, company housing. Now, you are not just here as a student. You're not just here on short-term work. You're here for longer. You got your working visa. Your company set you up. You might get the chance to live in company housing, which is either houses that belong to your company or apartments that are subsidized by your company. Plus, most of the details like the contract and similar things are handled by your company. Hands off! You don't have to do all the really terrible things. They will also vouch for you, which means you don't need a guarantor. Also, it will be a lot cheaper, and they're generally in a good connection to your workplace. It's a dream come true. Minus. There isn't really that much minus, to be honest, I think, at least in my opinion. You get a company that looks after you. That's pretty good in my opinion. Your living expenses are low. But, well, you might not be able to choose the size or the place of where you're going, but at the same time, yeah, you might have to move out once you leave the company. But apart from that, sounds pretty sweet to me. I'll be so jealous. Number 1, if you can prove financial stability, or if you can prove that you are having a proper job here in Japan, if you can prove those stabilities, you might get the chance to actually get your own place, woo, here in Japan. Plus of this being is that you can live here for a long period of time. Generally, contracts go and start from 2 years, and you can then extend them and live there longer. Also, you can pick the apartment that you would like from the variety of apartments, mansion, houses, maisonette types, and all the things that are existing. So you can pick what you want depending on your budget and your priorities. You become a proper part of Japanese society, paying your own bills, getting all those things settled, get your own internet, and you pretty much be living the life that so many people here in Japan and, for example, in the city of Tokyo are living. Welcome to Japan. Minus, you will need a lot of money up front to make that move possible. Also, you'll have to have certain documentation to assure the landlord and the real estate agents that you can pay the bills and similar things like that. And there are also a couple of other little pitfalls, tricks, and similar things that you need to know about. Now, this is the option that me and most of my friends here in Japan are taking and living right now. It is not easy. There are a couple of things you need to know to make that happen, but don't worry, we got you covered. We got a lot more info for you if you want to come here and live in Japan, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because there will be possibly a video with more details about this. If you want that, let us know in the comments, push that like so we know you are really interested in this. And also, let's be honest, what is the option that's best for you right now? Thinking of which stage in life you are currently, let us know in the comments down below. It would be nice to see whether you go for student housing or similar things like that. All the freedom or maybe a little bit more of culture. So I hope this helped you find actually the different types of ways of so many people going past this. Hold on. Now, I hope this helped you find the perfect Japanese living situation that suits you. And there's going to be more on this soon. So I'll catch you soon for more videos here on Ask Japanese. This was Kathy Cat, and have a lovely day. See you soon from Tokyo. Bye!